Hi, and welcome back to the space that gives you inspiration at work, at the job, in your career, and also in motherhood, parenting, marriage, and everything in between. Guys, welcome back from the March series. I got so much feedback, especially a lot of DMs in my Facebook and Instagram. Guys, if you want to connect with me, you can DM me there, right? I can't wait to, kind of engage and talk with you guys. Some of the feedback I've had is that, you guys feel like I'm talking to you in your living room and stuff like that. So, hey, today, let's continue these conversations on business. Pick up a cup of coffee, pick up a notebook, because we're going to be writing and taking down some notes. Now, this is April, the final month, guys, the final month that I talk business, work, job, career, and all of that stuff. This is the final month. And so my gift to you this month is I'm going to be taking on business calls. And this could be either via phone or you could meet me. So look up the description box. Into the description box, there's a link that I've left there where you can book an appointment or you can book a phone chat with me and let's talk business. Let's talk just your business. And I can't wait to talk to you guys. Now, this month, I want to talk babies and business. And so this theme for April is babies and business. And why exactly am I doing babies and business? I'm doing babies and business because I want to talk to startup companies this month. I know what it's like to start up a company, and I just want to kind of encourage you through this month series. Now, what exactly is a startup? I keep telling people that you can actually be 10 years old in your business and you're still a startup. Funny, but true. I promise you, as long as you've not kicked off, there is a curve for growth, and you're supposed to, as long as you're up the curve of gaining customers or gaining income or gaining skills, as long as you're up that curve, you're really a startup. And then when it starts to normalize, you're no longer a startup. Now, for many of us, we're still on that uphill climb, right? So this month series is for you. And because I absolutely love children and I love babies, there's so many lessons I've learned as a startup and as a person that cares for children that I think could help you, right? Now, for those people that have children right next to them or babies and they're setting up a company, I want you to look at some of the aspects that I'm going to talk about. They might give you some really good insights. So today we're going to talk about the 6 things or the lessons, 6 lessons I learned or 6 lessons I think startup companies should learn from babies. Yeah, 6 lessons startups should learn from babies. And I'll start at the beginning. The first lesson we need to learn, or you need to learn as a startup organization, is courage. Courage to do the things that you're supposed to do as a business. Not as a startup, but as a business. There's so many things you're required to do. So I'll give you an example. When I started my company, I had to gain the courage to start with having a board of directors. Now, guys, if you know the history of how boards are instituted, you usually have to have a certain kind of income, usually have to be this big kind of organization, usually need to, you understand? But I knew, like a baby knows that has to walk or has to turn from their tummy onto their back, that this is a process that you have to go through anyway as a business. Whether I got the board of directors at that point or I got them later, I still was going to have to get my board of directors. I went and registered my company and to URA, that's our tax regulatory authority. And basically everybody was like, what? You've just started. Why on earth are you reporting and getting a TIN number and reporting that your business can pay tax, yet you've only just started. When I talk about courage, I'm talking about the things that babies do that they have to do anyway. They have to walk. They know they have to walk. And so they muster the courage to walk. Whether they walk at 9 months or at 1 year or at 1.5 years, they still have to walk. As in courage, the courage that I'm talking about is the courage to do the things that you're supposed to do, even if you fear for your life, right? I look at babies, and there's a time in their life, there's a developmental milestone in their lives that requires them to run. Have you seen kids? They run. Like they don't look back, they don't question, they run. They get the courage to. So what are the things that you need to do as a business that you need to have the courage to do? Does that make sense? Do you need the courage to start up a social media page and ask for service providers? I mean, just the other day I was looking at a startup company that has literally put out a request for proposals, or a request for people to who have services to write, to send their proposals and tenders. I was just like, this is a startup company. Like, it just only started in 2014. And look what it's doing. And it had a whole list of services that people could submit their tenders for. And this looked like exactly like a company look like what government would usually do when they request for tenders. So what is it that you need to do as a business that you need to take the courage to do now? Is it that you have to apply for a grant? Apply for it. Like, get the courage to. Sometimes, you know, we when we're trying to do some of these things that we need to do as our businesses, we take so long. We procrastinate. We don't do. Do you need to get a graphic designer to do your work? Get the courage to do it, and to do it now. You understand what I mean? Do you need the courage to call somebody up and say, I need help with my business? Do you need a business coach? What are the things that you have to do as a business? And get the courage to do them exactly like a baby would. The second one, which is also closely related to taking the courage, is taking risks. I've never seen better risk takers than babies. My good Lord. They take risks. They're constantly looking for how to do things in a different way all the time. Guys, this is a lesson we need to learn from babies. Taking risks. I don't know how many times as a business we've had to take risks. And I'm not talking calculated risks, because now I'm trying to be a business coach and tell you how to take. No, I'm talking about plain old taking a risk. Taking a risk on a location, taking a risk on an employee, especially financial risks. Are you able to take risks? Because you don't know which one will work and which one will not work. Exactly like babies. Like, they're just like, if I walk from here and into the water, that water looks like so much fun. Let me walk right into it. Or that TV looks like so much fun. Let me pull that cable. They're such risk takers. And they're not calculating. No. Can we learn this from children? Can we learn this from babies? I have gotten so many rewards from taking risks in my business, and I've gotten so many failures from not taking risks. I mean, just before the pandemic began and, schools were closed, especially nursery schools and kindergartens and daycare centers, I see so many of the things that I withheld from doing then that now I'm having to do, and I wish I had taken the risk then. I wish I'd taken the financial risks then. I wish I'd employed the people that I think I should have employed then. Can you gather the courage to take risks like a baby would? I want to challenge you today. The third one is honesty. before we kill our children's honesty and beat them up for being honest, most of the time, babies or kids are extremely honest. They'll say it as it is. And I've found that I've gotten the greatest help from people when I have been honest, when I have told them the absolute truth about what's going on in my business. I've found that, yes, to be honest, and we're going to talk a bit about it, there's people who will use your honesty the wrong way, and then there's people who will not. But I found so much reward in doing what children do, which is being honest. Almost all the grants that I've gotten, almost all the funding I've gotten from people, from friends, from wherever I've gotten funding, has come from me being honest with my story, being truthful and honest, saying my truth has really, really helped my business. Even now, for me to be able to come and sit before you guys and tell you the truth of my own business and my own experience has brought me certain rewards. So I want to be in a place that encourages you as a business person, that there is a place for honesty. And I pray that you will see it like children see it, just that plain, raw honesty of sharing what exactly is going on with their business. I remember just the other day, I was at the ministry, I was meeting our first lady, and I remember being asked things such as, okay, so just background story. Nursery schools and childcare centers have been closed. And so we created an early childhood development association. Now, let me make you laugh. That association has been on my plan for the Cradle since 2014. And I didn't take the risk then to do it. And guess what? Now I had to do it, whether I liked it or not, right? So anyway, so we formed the association, and the first lady asked, and she said, so when did this association form? And I said, well, what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? And of course, everyone was like, come on, Manuela, you've got to tell her how, but really, like, why would you say such a thing? And the truth was, in telling her the truth, we were having challenges with registering the association. It would have been so funny for me to tell her that we formed it since 2014, and yet up till that time, it was still not even registered. Does that make sense? And so, with telling her the honest truth, we're actually now able to get it registered. Honesty. And then it also does help you sleep better at night, doesn't it? The fourth lesson that we learn from children or from babies that's closely related to honesty is humility. Now, some people get humility wrong. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, which is what most people think it is. Kind of where you downplay your abilities, what you're really good at, thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? It's thinking of yourself less. So you keep your abilities, your great deeds, the things that you can do really well, and you just think of yourself less. You're not on your own mind all the time. Does that make sense? Humility is having somebody else on your mind. Children absolutely do that extremely well. Now, I get you. You're going to kind of go like, really? Is that true? Children only think of themselves. No, I think children think of their needs. So if they are hungry, if they are thirsty, they will think of their needs and they'll cry out. But other than that, I don't know if you guys have ever realized how children completely and almost always only think of their mother. I don't get that. Babies are they're always reaching out to her. Is she okay? What? Did she cry? Clean her tears. Be with her. Help her. Do you understand that stage of children's lives when that's all they do, all they care for, and that it's you? If we could only get to a place of humility where we think of ourselves less. Not less of ourselves, but think of ourselves less. It would mean we start to focus on other people. So what kind of people can you focus on as a startup business? Your suppliers. Your suppliers. I caught you. I think you thought I was going to say your customers. Before you think of your customers, your suppliers. The other group of people you want to think about, and possibly more important than your suppliers, is your employees. This lesson was so hard for me to learn. Children or babies think so much of their moms because of what they get from their moms. You as a startup need to think so much of your employees because of what you get from your employees. The truth is, as business, most of us are thinking about our customers. If you think about your employee, they will think about your customer. That's how it works. You think about your employee, you think about your employee and their well-being, they will think about your customer and your customer's well-being. That's how it works. But if you're thinking about the customer's well-being, you're telling the employees to think about your customer's well-being, what are you left with? A stranded, dry, unenergetic, uninvolved staff member. Think about your staff. Then think about your suppliers. Because your suppliers are the ones that provide your employees with the tools to use to serve your customers. So think about them, call them, be very personal with them, personal enough for the things that affect their work, right? And ensure that you have the right employees. This doesn't work for the wrong employees, I must say that. This works for the right employees. Some employees can take you for granted, but hey, if you have the right employees, if you think of them and you think of the suppliers that give them the tools to use to meet the needs of your customer, this is a lesson we need to learn from our babies. The fifth is detecting the right and wrong relationships. And I've kind of talked about it, right? The people who you're honest with, or the employees, or the suppliers. Some relationships are toxic. And the thing I love about children and babies is they're able to tell that this person is good and this person is bad. It doesn't matter how you feel as a person about that person being good. For a child, that person is not good, and so they will cry. We've seen children cry when someone lifts them up, and then when somebody else does, they don't cry. Why? They're able to detect and tell the right and wrong relationships. And again, like I've said, it's not about what you or everybody outside of the relationship between the child and the person who's going to carry them. Even if you feel like that person is their father and they're right for them, if a child doesn't feel like they're right, honey, they will cry immediately their dad picks them up. So, one lesson, the fifth lesson we need to learn from babies is detecting the right and wrong relationships. This could be relationships in terms of people that fund you, in terms of customers, in terms of suppliers, in terms of employees. So many relationships, so many business relationships that you're going to be engaged in require you to detect, and to detect very early. So here is a quick tip on how you can detect a right or wrong relationship. Find out what they're about. Is it about them or is it about the world? I've found that working with people for whom it's about the world are better people to work with than people for whom it is about them. They want to get profit. They want to work better. It's about their business. I don't like working with those people because I feel like they can, I don't want to say, I say this with all manner of caution. They're very short-sighted. But people who want to work for the world, when you ask them why they do what they do, they're going to tell you things like, it's about the world, it's about Africa, it's about Ugandan women, they work for a purpose bigger than themselves. Those are the right people to work with. Even employees, they need to come to your organization seeing how your organization fits into their picture of how they want to change the world. These ones over here, for myself, where do you see yourself in 5 years and it's about them? I I don't engage. And I must tell you, especially for employees, it's hard to find people like that. It's very, very hard to find people like that. But all you want to do is to work with people who see a bigger, how your organization fits into the bigger picture of their purpose that impacts the world, or impacts Africa, or impacts the society, or impacts Uganda. And then lastly, the sixth lesson we need to learn from babies is stability. Seeking stability. Kids seek stability. Babies seek stability, and it's in everything they do. They need a routine. They need the same person constantly taking care of them. They need to know, especially because they thrive in a similar environment. They thrive with a similar caregiver. They thrive in a known occurrence of events, when they know I wake up, I get changed, someone smiles with me, someone showers me, someone does this. Routine works for them. That is their way of seeking stability. Everything you do as a company or as an organization or as a startup should be to seek stability. Everything you do should be getting you to a place of stability, especially financial stability. And how do you get financial stability? You have a stable workforce, you have a stable customer base, you have a stable marketing strategy, you have a stable supplier base, you have stability. Seek for stability. Seek for a known outcome for your business. Seek for waking up in the morning and you know exactly what's going to happen. I know the world will tell you things change. As an entrepreneur, not everything is the same. Friends, seek stability. Seek to make systems and tools that will help you to be stable, so that all you have left that's unstable is emergencies. But your life shouldn't be made of only emergencies and only emergencies all the time. Seek for stability so that all you're left with is emergencies. And we've come to the end of this video. If you have any lessons you've learned from your baby that have helped in your business, go down to the comment section. Let us know. I want to hear from you. And remember, if you're having any challenges in your business and you want to kind of talk to someone or to meet someone, I'm available in the month of April, Monday through to Thursday, every afternoon, an hour at a time. So book a slot, talk to me, give me some feedback, tell me what's going on in your business. And if there's any way that I can help, I'll be available to help. So until next time, I can't wait to see you. We'll be digging in even a little deeper on business and babies. Oh, why keep forgetting? Why? After you've commented, share with a friend. Tell them what you're learning from this channel. Let them come, subscribe, like, and also comment and share. Until next time, bye-bye.